Without further ado, I'd like to bring my special guest to the stage. Her name is Dr. Shanna K. Grant. And let me tell you, this woman is so smart. Oh my word. How can you not meet her? And, she looks absolutely fabulous today. And, it's spring. We're kind of, celebrating spring and all things beautiful. The weather here in Atlanta is going to be beautiful all week. So, bring out the spring colors and, just enjoy the moment. So let me bring Dr. Grant to the stage. Could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Hi,
you.
Shannon. Yes, you can hear me. We can hear you loud and clear too. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be here today. I'm super excited.
Oh, of course, of course. Now, I know of you and your husband because you guys have, so many businesses. You're serial entrepreneurs, so seriously. And I've met you a couple of times. But what I was really interested in is the fact that you are so smart in the whole financial space. And I think a lot of us are feeling the strain of financials in general. You know what I mean? It's been such a tough time for a lot of people in terms of the inflation. So
Yeah.
many things are just, expensive. Your grocery bills. I don't know about anybody, but every single time I go to the grocery store, I can pick up two things. I can pick up 10 things. It always seems to be $100.
Yeah.
Like I can't get it past 100. It's always
Yeah.
$100 every
That
time I
is
go. So,
mhm.
I came across your page one day and you were doing a free webinar on, financial, how to make your money work for you. And it totally resonated with me. I signed up immediately. I did miss the course, so I apologize for that, but you sent me the recording
Mhm.
and I was able to watch it on the weekend. So I
Mhm.
did watch the recording and I was like, oh my God, these are things that I wish I knew, you
Mhm.
know, way back when, so
Yeah.
that, I could have gotten a much better start, especially in the stock market, because,
Mhm.
I've heard some wonderful stories.
Yeah.
The stock market is somewhere where you have to you have to be able to make that money work for you. So I know you're going to tell us all about that.
Yeah.
But first, if you can tell us about you, just a little bit about you, just to introduce yourself to the audience so that they know who you are.
Yes, certainly. So, of course, I'm Shanna Grant, and you probably hear the accent. I'm originally from Jamaica. Yes, yes, yes.
Big up
Uh,
to Jamaica, Caribbean. We're in the house. We're here.
yes, yes. So I always start by saying, I'm a lover of Christ because I believe that He's the reason I'm here today. I am a boy mom of two, and as you mentioned, my lovely husband Philip, he makes me look super good on camera, like extremely well. But outside of that, I am a professor of mathematics, and I do own and operate a math tutoring slash educational investment company where we educate families and students, and try to bridge that wealth gap through math and financial education.
Yeah, perfect. And I love that because I've always said they should really have a course. There should be a course in
Mm,
school. It
I
should be
agree.
at the school level.
Yeah.
I still can't get around my head because I have a school age child. I have one who is, grown and flown, and then
Mhm.
another one who's a school age. But I always say, why don't they teach that at middle school?
Mhm.
Mid elementary, yes, you can grasp it at elementary, but I think at middle school they can really understand it, and then of course high school. You
Yep.
know, why are the kids not coming out of school wanting to do a business?
Mhm.
Some
Yeah.
type of business, something. And to understand the importance of
Yeah.
having that. You can still work if you want to come
Mhm.
to work, but just to have something else of your own. You know,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And,
yeah.
that's why when I was prompted by my coach, and she asked me, my mentor, she said, well, if you can write a book, right, to advance, your company or something of the sort, what would you do? And I said, absolutely financial literacy, because as I mentioned, we do math tutoring and nowhere in the curriculum, not even in your social studies class. And I've been in school for a long time, right? There's PhD, but nowhere were we taught how to make our money work for us. It's the reverse. We're working for money consistently. And so, of course, that's why I wrote the book. A Toolkit for Raising Wealthy Kids, because I firmly believe that, what you don't know will affect you. And so no longer can we say, oh, I just didn't know, right? We have to
Yeah.
educate ourselves, and we have to really become a different person. Sometimes, I listen to different podcasts and stuff like that. And I remember somebody saying that, we have to be willing to unlearn the things that we learned about money, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
in our mind, like when I graduated, I was like, okay, I got to get a job and I have to do this. And then, Philip said, well, why don't you start a business? And I said, well, that's not traditional, especially in the
Yeah.
Caribbean field, you're expected to be
Yeah.
a lawyer, a doctor, or something of the sort. And so if you really want financial freedom, though, you can't work for money consistently, right? Because we time is limited. You have to sleep, right? You have to do different things. And so with the limited time that you have, get into wealth, working alone will not do that. And that's the things that we're not taught in school. We have to keep educating ourselves and find that elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. And especially when you're paying for education, you feel like, you've got these student grants and all you have to do is now work to pay off your grants. So now you're working just to pay
Mhm.
things off,
Yeah.
just not even to enjoy your money.
Yeah.
And, I'm like you. My parents are from Guyana. I was born and raised in the UK. And just traveling alone, I'm still like gobsmacked when I meet people here in the United States who've never left the country.
Oh, yeah.
I met somebody just yesterday where I was at this studio. They've never
Mhm.
left the country. They've never traveled. They've never
Wow.
even experienced what it's like around this beautiful world that we live in.
Yeah.
And I just find that fascinating. Both my kids had passports and babies. We were all
Yes.
over the place.
Yes. Yes.
But coming back to the financials, you're absolutely right. We only have 24 hours in the day, and
Mhm.
there's only so much of it that you can actually work. You got
Yeah.
to sleep. You get tired. You got to spend time
Mhm.
with family. You got to spend time with friends, with loved ones. You got to cook. You got to eat. There's so
Yeah.
many things to do in the day. So how do you then take some of that time and make your money work for you? So many people have residual income.
Mhm.
If you don't, residual income is like the key,
Yes.
uh, to a lot of things. So how do we make money work for us? How
Yes,
does that
that's like a big motto. It's like a mantra now for me. It's like you have to make your money work for you. And there's several ways, right? But gone are the days that we just save our money. Now we have to invest it. And investing is the way to really make your money work for you. And so there are many ways that we can invest, right? We can invest in real estate. We can invest using a life insurance policy. We can use a business, and we can use the stock market. And
Mhm.
so I do all four. And so because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. But what I've seen a lot of return on my investment is using the stock market. Like you've probably heard in one of my webinars, I was able to multiply my investment portfolio by 2,000%, right? So I took $500 in 2020, and now we are 2,000% up, even though some may say, I don't know if you understand, we're in a red market right now where the stocks are down, but people are panicking, and this is the best time. When you go in
Oh
the
yeah, don't panic now. Now is the time to buy.
now is the time to go in and shop. It's like everything
Yeah.
is on sale. When you go into a store and some people, they go to the clearance. Well, everything is on clearance right now. So this is the best time to go in, because this is where millions are made. And so but you do have to educate yourself. You have to know what's the indicator, what's the good stock to look for, and those type of things. And so I talk a lot about that on my YouTube channel as well, where I give a lot of information, but you have to be investing. And first, of course, we talk about educating yourself about, which avenue you want to take to invest. And then don't wait, because the longer you wait, the longer you will take to reap the reward of making your money work for you.
Mm.
That compound interest, or compounding your money for you. Mhm.
Right, right. Yes, of course. So yeah, now is definitely the best time. I bought my first stocks in 2020 as well, actually, because we were getting unemployment from the government, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? This $600 coming in. I'm like, well, hey, let me go buy some stock. And I remember
Mhm.
buying some Delta stock when it was probably around $35
Mhm.
each.
Mhm.
And it went all the way up to $69, $70 per stock. So I made money.
Yes.
I didn't take it out because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep it in. I've had it in for so long. I'm just going to keep it in. Now it's gone down to like 40 something dollars. So I'm like, I should have taken it out back then. But
Yeah.
because it was the money that I, was spare
Mhm.
money, I would say, I'm going to leave it anyway because I know that's going to come back.
Right. Right.
I'm in the travel industry, so I'm an avid traveler.
Mhm.
Travel, you can't get anywhere else around the world without an airplane. So of
Right.
course it's come back eventually. So like you
Yeah.
said, knowing where to put your money is also very important. So
Mhm.
you have to be educated. So if you
Yeah.
don't know, you
Yeah.
offer courses to teach people, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I do a free webinar every other week. There's one coming up this Thursday at 7:30 or 7 p.m. It's on our website. But typically, I try to go over the basics. I don't want to overload people with information because there's so much information out there, and so you have to really know what you're looking for and to really be able to. The Bible says, "By their fruits you shall know them." So you really have
Yeah.
to know who to listen to. But yeah, and I wanted to touch on the point that you made. When people say, well, how do I even know where to start? You have to start with yourself. Like you mentioned before, you're a traveler. And so,
Mhm.
you're going to buy a Delta ticket, right? And so regardless of how high Delta's tickets are,
Yes.
you're going to be traveling Delta. So we typically say, look at what you like, what you do, where do
Yeah.
you frequent? Like for me, I run in Nike shoes. So that's the shoe that I'm going to trust. I'm an Android girly and those type of things. But then you have my family who's like an Apple person. So you
Hmm.
just have to look at yourself and see, well, who
Yeah.
are you going to not let go out of business? That's probably a good place
Right.
to start
Yes.
in terms of, what stocks to look into to purchase. So it's not scary. A lot of people are like, I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I'm gonna lose money. And I'll tell you this: there are times where you're gonna lose money, but it's what you learn from that. You know what I mean? Like you
Hmm.
said, the stock is gonna come back, and like now, people, as you said, are panicking and they're freaking out because their money is going down. But this is really the best time to invest.
Yeah, you have to be able to, take, like you said, you can start with five, you can start with 100, or you can
Yep.
start with 500. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But don't expect an immediate return. If it's 500 that you can spare for like a
Mhm.
year or so, put it
Yep.
in, let it sit
Mhm.
for a year and see what happens because it really is the best way. You're not going to get the same return in a regular bank at
No,
all.
definitely
I
not.
mean, you know, you're definitely not going to get that. Yeah, you might be able to see it every day, but it's not going to go up. It's going to
No,
be
it's
the
not
same
going
amount.
anywhere. And I'll tell
Yeah.
you a story. The reason why we even started was I remember, there was like a whole ordeal going on during COVID. And we had about $1,000 in our account. And we said, we're going to take half of it because when you look in the account, you see like some cents, like 1 cent or zero point 0.0, being added to your money with it sitting in the account. And then we were like, this isn't making any sense. I was getting frustrated. I was like, you're saving all this money. Nothing is happening to your money. But one
Mhm.
thing I realized was the bank is loaning out your money, right? So even though you are not making any interest, they're loaning it out up to 9 times. And I'm sure the interest they're making is not 0.001% that they're giving us. And so they're
Mhm.
using our money to make more money while we have it sitting in the bank, right?
Yeah.
And so, that's why it's important to really know how to make your money work for you. And I also want to mention you touched on something very important. You don't want to invest what you cannot afford to lose. You like
Right.
you said, some spare, like you said, the government was giving away money. You're like, oh, it's coming in, so I can use it. You don't want to put your rent or your mortgage or
Right.
your grocery money in the stock market. So you definitely want to have course. I talk about this in my actual investment courses. You want to make sure you have an emergency fund first in the event that something happens, because when you start investing, you don't want to pull it out because it won't be able to compound and you won't be able to see the growth. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure you're able to at least have $1,000 saved up in the event of an emergency, and then you can look to invest or something like that.
Yes, exactly. That absolutely makes sense. I wanted to show a video, one of your videos. I've got a couple of them here lined up. But just one of them where, you tell us a little bit about, some stocks that are good to invest in.
Yes.
And I know these are like little nuggets that you do from time to time. So I just
Mhm.
wanted, folks to see, what the wealth of information that you give to people. So I'm going to bring it to the stage if you don't mind right now.
Yes.
If I told you you can make money monthly just by investing in the stock market?
Hold on 1 second. Let me bring that back again. I had the wrong video. Okay. We can hear your beautiful voice, but it wasn't showing.
I told you you can make money monthly just by investing in the stock market. Here are 3 dividend stocks you should consider when investing. The first one, McDonald's. Not only are they a food chain, but I was told, or I read somewhere, where they are also in the real estate business. And so that is going nowhere anytime soon. The second company, Costco. A lot of us shop at Costco for great bargains when we buy surplus. And so you definitely want to check out Costco for your portfolio. And lastly, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a great company, great products. And guess what? Even the great Warren Buffett invests in Coca-Cola. If you want to learn more about the stock market, I'm hosting a free class where I'm teaching you 3 simple steps, how to grow your money in the stock market with just 3 simple steps. Comment below, invest, and I'll send you the link straight to your DM.
Okay, that was nice. That was nice. So a couple of things. Oh, how do I get my? Okay, here we go. A couple of things I wanted to ask you in that particular clip. So I did look at Coca-Cola, I looked at McDonald's, and I looked at Costco. I think it was Costco that was really, really high. You know, so just even to buy one stock, it was just like whoosh. But you can actually buy part of a stock, right? So tell us about that, and also tell us about dividend stocks. How do we know which is a dividend stock, and how do we know which isn't?
Oh, listen, I always promote dividend stocks. So I love to get paid for just having things, right? And so think about you just owning something and you're getting paid from it. So let's break it in a little bit. When you buy shares in a company, you're becoming part owner of the company, right? And so there are some companies that pays their shareholders just because they're making profit or they're doing well. And so these are the companies that they pay out in dividends. And so that's why we call them dividend stocks, right? You get paid just because you own it and the company makes a profit. They give all of their shareholders some money or some of that profit in the form of dividends. And so you get paid twice because you own the company and because it makes money, right? And so who doesn't want to get paid twice?
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So that's dividend stocks. And so I firmly believe, there's a criteria to look for. There's a scanning tool that I really talk about in my classes. But when I think all of my stocks on my portfolio for me and my kids are in fact dividend stocks. And because I think if you can get paid, and it's like you said, residual income, this is you just owning the stock, you're getting paid. Like, I think we looked at the quarter, we made over $100 just because we own stocks. We're doing nothing. This is outside of the market going up or down, right? And so, it's just a way to just, have extra money coming in. And
I love it.
Yeah, people. I remember meeting one woman once, and she said her rent is paid by her dividends.
Wow, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So you got money invested, and you can have enough dividends to be able to pay your rent.
Of course, yes. And so, people pay this. I remember someone saying they paid a phone bill, with their dividend stocks or, with the dividend that comes in. So, one of the things I tell people, when you're starting to invest, you can come up with your goals for investing, right? Because if you don't have any goals, nothing will be measured. For us, our goals are long-term, right? So we're going to leave it in for a long time for that compound growth to happen. But there's some people who they open their investment account to travel, or they open it to pay their bills, and so there are different reasons why people invest. And so once you have your goal set, you can determine, okay, after 6 months, I'm pulling my dividends to do this, or I'm pulling my dividends monthly, or after a certain number of years, I'm pulling my dividends. And I also want to mention, you can start investing with as low as $10, $20, $30. You don't have to have a lot of money to invest, because yes, there are some platforms, some brokerage accounts that allow you to do partial shares.
Partial, right? Yes.
So you can become part owner, and you don't have to buy the whole, share of the company. So yeah.
Right. And what brokerage companies would you think? I know there's Robinhood, there's Fidelity, there's Oh my God, stash.
Oh,
There's
you
so
would
many.
ask. Yes.
There's
So I
so
just,
many of them.
yeah, I just did a video on this, funny enough, because so I'll just say what I said, and I hope nobody, So Robinhood, I'll say, is a great platform for beginners because it's very straight to the point. It shows you how to just go buy, execute an order, and you can also do some research in Robinhood. However, once you become a more savvy investor, you understand what you're doing, I suggest that you graduate to the more reputable companies. Not to say Robinhood is not reputable, but it doesn't have the best reputation. Let's say that, right? And so, like Fidelity, I do Fidelity and I do Charles Schwab. But there are others that are also reputable, Vanguard and so on and so forth. But those are the two that I use. And the reason why I suggest not starting with those companies, the Vanguard or the Fidelity and the Charles Schwabs, is because those platforms, sometimes they're not as user friendly, right? And if you're just trying to learn, and you get very confused and you get very discouraged. But as I said, Robinhood is such an easy platform to learn. But once you've learned, you want to transfer out your money and go to the more reputable companies.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I started with Robinhood as well when I, did my little thing. I'm like, oh, let me see what this $600 is going to do. And it was very straightforward, back and forth, take out, not take it out. And then there's the free platform on Robinhood, and then there's the gold where you have to pay for. And I guess, they treat their freebies a little different than their, their pro. So you don't get a lot with the freebies. But I started with Robinhood, and I did end up getting Fidelity. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I got Fidelity because it looked cool. but no, I'm still learning. There's so much. I mean, you would never. It's not something that you can grasp straight away. You absolutely need the guidance of someone like yourself or someone who just knows how to navigate around the stock market. It's you can make money. I know people who bought, like you said, paid rent and done all kinds of things with their money that they've made on the stock market. So that is definitely something. I do have another video of you, and this is you at work when you talk about making money work for you. This is a really nice video. I like this for a whole bunch of reasons. Because it shows that you are so focused on what you do. And then, once we show this, I want you to talk about some of your other businesses as well, because being a math professional, you were coming up to SAT time and all these things,
Yes.
So for all the parents out there, where kids are tearing their hair out, we've got a solution. So I'm going to bring this one to the stage. I just love that. I love that because you are showing people how to make their money work for them. You have your webinars, you're focused, your kids are running around, but you're still focused on everything that you're doing. And we didn't touch on the fact that you are a speaker, and I know you've got a couple of speaking engagements coming up. So tell us about that. How do they book you for your speaking engagement? So where are you speaking? Could we all come?
Well, so of course, I'm very passionate about educating students, right? And so this is a Mississippi Academy of Science conference. The organizer, so I spoke at Jackson State University last year, and so she said, we have to have you back. We have to have you back. We have a conference coming up. And so, she locked me in, and I was able to, I'm not there. I'm going next week. But I will be speaking to future STEM leaders of the country or of the world. And so, like I mentioned, though, I go to several conferences, but we never hear about money, right? We hear about working or coming up with a new drug or coming up with the new this or all of that. But then, once you're thrown out into the deep end to become sometimes we say adult, right? Be a grown up. right? With your
Right.
finances, that part is kind of lacking. And so I'm really stoked. I'm really excited to be able to talk to our future leaders, our future STEM, folks, or just students in general about how to really start that trajectory. Because like you said, I always think that if I knew what I know now, I would be so wealthy right now.
I'm
When
telling
I
you,
was
oh my
younger,
word.
yes, I just wish I knew. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so and then I'm also going to a fathers conference where I'm going to be speaking to fathers. This one is also very
Nice.
close to heart because they're the backbones most times of the family, going
Yeah.
out breadwinners. And so they're from the Head Start program, and they sometimes, you know, they don't even know how to use or to make money and make their money work for them, and they're just going after what they think they know is right or what they've seen traditionally.
Hmm.
That's most people, to be honest with you. But I'm super excited to be able to share with them nuggets of how to really expand their wealth and build that solid foundation so that their kids coming up can, learn from them and then expand their legacy as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is so important. Financial literacy is
Mhm.
just way too important not to know at a certain time. Because, like you said, they just know that you go to school, you've got to do well, especially with us Caribbean parents, school,
Yeah.
school, school is drummed into their head. By the time they get out of school, they're just like so relieved to be out of school. And then we say
Yeah.
to them, okay, college, 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 university.
Mhm.
And then, after that, you got to get a good
Get a
job.
job.
What
Yep.
is a good job?
Yep.
Somewhere where they're making you money. But then on top of that, you want to be able to make your money work for
Work.
you, like you said.
Mhm. Yes.
So, okay, so where can we find you? Where can we find more information about you and about your work and your company and all of your companies? Because there's so many of them. And I know I've got to interview your husband as well because he hasn't been on the show yet. So I'll catch up with him to interview him for the other
Mhm.
side of your business. But so tell us a little bit about the SAT. Are you still doing your tutoring?
Yes. Yes. So that's the other side of the business, and it all intertwines, to be honest, because
Yeah.
when I came to the United States, I didn't know much about, the lingos and how the process worked. And so when students, like you said, you want to go to high school and then your next year you have to go to college, right? But many times you think you have to get a loan, but you can circumvent that loan by getting a good SAT score, by getting a good application into the university. So I'm a professor at Fort Valley State University, and I'm also the director of a scholarship. So I know what the scholarship directors are looking for, right? And so one of the things that I realized very early on is these standardized tests, for example, the SAT, it's not really about what you know. You have to know how to maneuver these exams, right? Because
Mhm.
I was a mathematician from a young age. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest, I didn't do so well on the SAT. And because of that, I didn't get scholarship offers and stuff like that. And so, when you graduate with debt, it puts you at a very low place in society, right? You have your debt to income ratio when it comes to your home, different things. You're in a different bracket, right? And when you
Mhm.
graduate debt free, it's a whole new world, right? There's nothing held over your head. What is your loan and da 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 da, right? And so SAT for me is one of the ways to help bridge the wealth gap with our students and just, in our generations, especially our African American babies.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and so, yes, we offer an array of SAT prep offerings. So we do one-on-one tutoring. We do SAT prep courses. We actually have a crash course that's going on right now where we teach students how to use Desmos to maximize their scores. And we really build students' confidence overall in mathematics. And so the SAT is just one segment of that. But yeah, so you'll find that finance and math are intertwined for me in absolutely everything that I do.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love it. I'm sitting here listening when the time comes for my son. I know who I'm going to be calling for sure because he's
Yes,
very, very good at math.
that's
And
good.
he also plays basketball. So those are the two things that he really loves, and he loves the
Mhm.
sciences. But everything else is like, meh. So, but that's the thing about kids. They go through school, they're learning algebra. We learn algebra. I've never used algebra at
You
all.
have, you have, you have.
No, it's just like, it's almost like, do they still have to do certain things? Why not teach them life skills? Teach them
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
making it in this world, the world that we're in right now,
yeah,
because it's so different than the
yeah.
world that we grew up in, but they're still teaching them the same. But, I
Actually,
guess
no,
you
they have new math now. They have new math, and we teach parents how to cope with that. Because a lot of the parents are like, "Well, I learned it this way. Why are they learning it this way now?" And so, when you look at our competitors in other countries, the U.S. is not very far up academically.
oh no, I know that.
And
No,
so,
they're not.
yeah, so the new math is trying to get it to a place where our students are competitive, right? And so they're using new techniques to bring the students, a little bit further up. But, what I also realized in doing my research is there's a shortage of teachers. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and you can't blame COVID. It's just a lot going on in general. And so that's why I find that Matt Tutor and my clients, they are happy because it's not that easy to find a good company that cares about your child and then also instills confidence so that they can excel not only in the classroom but also beyond. And so when
Yeah.
I get my students, it's like my babies. So
Yeah.
I'm checking in with parents, and we're trying to make sure that everything is aligned so that each student is getting what they need.
Yeah, of course. And then everyone is an individual.
Yes,
Students learn in their own ways. Male
exactly.
students versus female students.
Mhm.
You're teaching everyone the same way and thinking you're going to get the
Right.
exact same result. It just doesn't
Exactly.
work like that anymore.
Yes.
Everyone's different.
Yes.
So no, but this was great. This was great. So where do we find you? Tell us your social media so we know
Yes.
where to find you.
So on social media, I'm Dr. I think I took the doctor out. It's just Shanna K. Grant, my full name. But our business is Sharp Sessions, SHARPE sessions with an S. And so if you go to sharpsessions.com, you'll see, all of our offerings and stuff like that. And I do want to shout out some of our students who are going to Duke University, Cornell University, and Georgia Tech. I just want to shout them out and say congratulations. We get our
Yay.
cycles in. We're super excited. We always look forward to those great success stories because, just like how we invest in the stock market, I was telling someone, you want to invest in your kids when they're applying to colleges and stuff like that, because that's a very good return. If you spend, let's say, $1,000 to help with their essays or prepping them for, university standardized exams, you're getting back up to 100K, up to $100,000 in scholarships. That's a great
Yeah,
investment.
that is a great
That's
investment.
a great investment. And then they're not coming out with loans. So as a parent, you feel proud and you're like, oh, yeah, I did it, because
Yeah,
now you don't have to work. You can buy them a car. You can do whatever you want. I love
right.
about paying for tuition. So yeah, always.
Yeah, tuition, I was so shocked when I moved here and I'm like, sorry, how old are you? And you're still paying student loans? That blew my mind.
I
That
am.
really blew my mind.
I am, because I didn't do well on the SAT, and then they take out the affirmative action stuff, and so now
Yeah,
we really have to make sure our students, our kids, are really being competitive, and don't fall for the SAT is not required. It's not required for admission, but it's required for scholarships. It's required.
right. Okay. And these universities, they totally bombard you early because of course everyone wants to get ahead. My
Yeah.
son is in 10th grade and
Okay.
I think every single day we get mail for universities and why don't you stick with us for you can get a scholarship, why don't you do this, and I'm like, oh my word, you got to start preparing
Yeah.
so early
Mm-hmm.
for this next phase in their lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you don't even get time to stop and breathe. I'm just, wishing he would just get through high school at this stage. But right now, I really have to start thinking about college and what's next for him. And of course, like
Yeah.
you said, the whole financial spectrum of it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole other ball game in itself.
Yes.
But this was good. I
Yes.
feel like excuse me. I feel like we still have more to talk about. So we don't have to do a part two. Maybe we'll do a
Okay.
part two, maybe
Okay.
November or something later in the year.
Okay.
So
No
we'll talk
problem.
about. I want to address the stock market again and come back to that because right
Okay.
now, like you said,
Yes.
it's clearance.
It's
Everything's on
clear.
sale.
Everything is on sale. Mm-hmm.
Go buy, 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 buy.
Bye bye. But do your research first. Don't just jump
Okay.
in and not know what to do because you can lose money. And like you said, we do have a lot more to talk about because you have to know your risk tolerance. You have to know,
Mhm.
the type of investor you are. But if it's for long term, I always tell, if I have to leave something, pick the reputable companies that have been doing well, and they're gonna probably continue to do well. Like the 3 stocks that I mentioned in that video, and I talk a
Yeah.
lot about the stocks in my book, A Toolkit for Raising Wealthy Kids. I actually gave about 10 or 15 dividend stocks we call them recession proof, that no matter what's going on, they're going to stay around. You have like the waste management. The truck is going to come and pick up your trash can, and
Mm-hmm.
your trash is going to go, right? Waste management. There's so many different companies that I talk about in here. But yes, if you are trying to build wealth, a
Mm-hmm.
legacy for your family, and if you're even not even thinking about it, do consider it. And the stock market is one of the best avenues to use to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't know anywhere, if you don't know what to start with the reputable companies that are already doing what they're supposed to, and you don't have to do any risk taking or anything like that.
Exactly. And it's so true. You have to start with companies that you know are going to stick around forever. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Of course, we're always going to have garbage that needs to be picked up. That's never going to go away. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, with the travel industry, you're
Mm-hmm.
never going to be able to take a train over to Europe. No one's taking a train on the water. You
Exactly.
have to
Yes.
fly. So the
Yes.
airline industry is going to go down and up. And like we saw in 2020, the government bailed the airline industry out because not
And they're
only
going to.
yeah, it's not only is it, for you, but also it's part of what makes that country,
Exactly.
So you have American, Delta, United, they all represent the United States. The government
Mm-hmm.
will always step in and help them out if they're in a real crisis.
Yes.
So yeah, do your research and invest, invest, invest.
Invest.
So it's
That's
a
the
good
only way to wealth. Yes.
yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've got to be respectful of the time that
Yes.
my slot on the TV networks.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
This
you
was
so
a
much
great
for having
conversation.
me. Yes. Thank
Of
you for having me.
course.
Really
This was a
appreciate
great conversation. And, guys, if you didn't see the whole show, the replay will be on. I'll send it to you, Shannon, as well. So the replay will be on YouTube and on Bacchanal TV. So make sure you watch the replay. All right, I just got a couple more ads to run. You can stick around, Shannon, if you like, but I've got to bring this to the stage.
Okay.
So this here, of course, this is your beautiful flyer, which will be sent to you as well as the clips. But I just want to just run through a little bit of these ads. So I talked about Wear White. Of course, we've got Mikhail Taja for Wear White, May 25th, 2025. It's the 25th anniversary. So it's all the 25s they're celebrating. So it's Wear White with a touch of silver. Folks, $45 available right now on your early bird tickets. Patrice Roberts, my girl. Patrice Roberts can do nothing wrong in my eyes. I don't care what she does. I will always support her. So Patrice and her entire team, her band will be here for Atlanta Carnival season on the Sunday. It's Atlanta Carnival Sunday, May the 25th, 2025. It's outside, guys. So this is the outdoor event. Lots of DJs. She will be here. They're adding more artists as well. So stay tuned for all the artists. Now, this is a company of a dear friend of mine. It's Atlanta Host Services. If you ever need anything, whether it's medical appointments, you've got medical couriers, airport drop-offs, pickups, and so forth. AtlantaHostServices.com. Contact her at 678-515-6092. And yes, she dresses just like that when she's picking you up from the airport. She is She means business. So go and support her, please. Atlanta Host Services, anything that you need, she will take care of it for you. And like I said, Bacchanal TV, thank them for their sponsorship. So you can advertise on Bacchanal TV. So they are available. The app is available on Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku, like I said before. And like I mentioned, Clark TV Network, as always. My show, past shows of the lunch date is on Clark TV. Actually, Shannon, what are you having for lunch? Because it's lunchtime now. It's 12 o'clock. Are you having lunch today?
Sunday I made some oxtail, so that's.
Oh, look at you! And she can cook, guys. On top of all of that, and she cooks. So yeah. So here we go. So you know what? I have just had, let me just pause here for a second. So I want to mention this. I'm making salmon and broccoli and mashed potatoes, and I've got some quinoa on the side. And then I'll probably do like a cucumber and avocado salad. So, I know, I'm going all out.
That is it right
all
there.
Out today. Okay, so a couple of things got passed. So that's my real estate business. So if you're in the market for real estate and you need, there's so many realtors in Atlanta, it's just insane. But, I offer a free consultation. I get you set up for your investing, or if you're an investor, buyer, seller, give me a call. Now, I wanted to talk about this just for a very, very brief moment. So there's the economic blackout tour, as they're mentioning. February the 28th was an economic blackout. No one was supposed to buy anything at all, and so forth and so forth. This week we're in it's the Amazon boycott. Now, I haven't bought anything from Amazon. I probably won't. I probably will, go along with this just to see where it's going to end up and how we're going to end up. But a lot of people have said, this doesn't work. Why are we doing this? It makes no sense, yada, yada, yada. If you go back to the 60s, they did something very similar in the 60s. And apparently it did, cause changes. So the companies are listening. They will end up changing. It's got to be a continual, experience. It can't just be a one-time or a one-day thing. So if folks are following this and they want to jump on board, this is a flyer that I found online of some of the dates that are coming up. So as you see, it's going right through until July 4th, and I'm sure there'll be more. But right now, you're not supposed to be buying anything from Amazon, folks. So if you could refrain from buying anything from Amazon, let's just see how we end up and what the impact is. So Shannon, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what do you think about the economic blackout tour?
Well, if you want change to happen, you got to change something. I firmly believe that. Now, I wasn't familiar with I knew the blackout day recently, but I didn't know there was
a tour, honey. There's a tour.
I'm glad I'm here today to learn about the tour because I didn't know. But yeah, if you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. So
exactly.
I believe that, we have to, as a people, stand up for what we believe is right.
Exactly. And I also saw, doing some of my research, I saw on one of your pages as well, you talked about spending money on necessities. So like, a lot of people just spend money for the sake of spending money. And then they talk about, I don't have enough to save, or I don't have this. Well,
let's talk about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, well, why not focus? And you can start in baby steps, like you said. So maybe just take the next week and just only buy things that you absolutely need. You'll be surprised what you will have at the end of the week, because you're not just buying crazy things, and I'm guilty as well. I bought those scratch off, those, what is it, the lottery. I don't really play the lottery too often, but sometimes I do, and I feel like I'm wasting money. Or I buy the scratch off cards, like $5 a time. I'm sure if I add all that together, I could have put that in the stock market and probably
made you some money.
So stop buying. I've really stopped buying a lot of unnecessary things. So guys, this is, if you don't need to spend on Amazon this week, don't. Just wait and see what happens. So that's it. And then last but not least is just connecting with me on sponsorship. So that is my time. Well, thank you so much, Shannon. I really appreciate you spending some time with me this afternoon.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And Thank you to your viewers for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day. We'll talk again soon.
Alrighty. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right, guys. So